is we have to be absolutely... I do object to being called a Nazi, actually.
Right. Well, apologies if you're offended by what you're listening to.
I just think this is astonishing. This is what has happened to our country, actually. This is what's happened to our country. But anyway, let's try and move on and be positive about things.
Wow, Subri, that must suck. People chanting that you're a Nazi when you know for a fact that it isn't true. I mean, there you are, discussing politics and other things that you believe in, and you've got these random people in the street calling you a Nazi when your political opinions can't even be closely equated to the Nazis. Apart from maybe the European superstate part. I mean, it's not like you use similar language yourself against people that you disagree with.
These people are members of, a lot of them, the English Defence League. They support people like the so-called Tommy Robinson man. These are fascists, and overwhelmingly, it seems as well, many of them are racists.
I guess you do, but still, being falsely branded as a Nazi is something anyone would find worrying. Because some people might end up actually believing it, to the point where you could get harassed in the street by people who probably want to attack you.
Yeah, sure, of course we are.
Anti-communist action. Yeah. You think we are mugs?
Stand here if we want, buddy. You're the one that came over to us, pal. I don't give a fuck what you think. Fucking whoa. Oh, move. You're the one who's holding here. You came up to us. Just move.
Off you go. Off you go. You take your fucking picture, shove it up your ass, right?
But I get it, Subri. No one wants to be branded as a Nazi because we can see the danger that it causes, and it can even place your personal safety at risk, especially when you're out in public. And the cops just don't seem to care.
You won't answer the question, will you? Your dad won't answer the question. Your daddy's a totally horrible person.
Go in, don't talk to us now.
Go.
You're a fascist scum! You're a fascist scum! Get off the fucking campus!
I mean, I've suffered this. I mean, every day, literally every day, year after year, my family was attacked, the car was smashed up and vandalised, written off, and the police didn't pursue a single prosecution. I remember once, Piers, going to Edinburgh and being attacked by a mob of 80 people in the street. Language and abuse and intimidation far worse than we saw yesterday. And I was told by Alex Salmond, the First Minister of Scotland, that I basically deserved it because I'd come to Scotland where I wasn't popular.
But unfortunately, this type of thing is nothing new. I mean, this is something that we've all had to deal with for years. We've had people losing their jobs, getting their events shut down, street stalls getting attacked, people getting physically attacked in the street, and even assassination attempts. All because people were falsely branded as Nazis. It's just a shame that the cops and the media just simply don't care about that stuff. I mean, we've had to put up with it for years, so I don't see any reason why they would just suddenly care now.
They have no regard for law at all. And I'm afraid the truth is Brexit has unleashed these people. This is Britain now. This is not the Britain I know and love. And these people do not represent our country, and they need sorting out.
It's interesting that you should say that, because this is something that you yourself have done. What did she mean by this?
We're currently assessing all the information that's available to us. We are taking advice as to whether the behaviour from yesterday meets a criminal threshold, and once that investigation is complete, we can then determine the most appropriate police action.
Is calling someone a Nazi criminal activity?
And that is part of the assessment that we are making at the moment. We need to understand whether language such as that does meet a criminal threshold.
Oh, they do care now! Suddenly, after all this time of us getting told that we just need to put up with it, suddenly, now that the exact same language is getting used against the people who very often use this language, oh, now they care. Suddenly, all of a sudden, they actually care about people getting called Nazis. The very people who have used this exact same language against us for years, the instant it gets used against them, they try and make it illegal.
You see, that's the whole point of being the government. If you don't like something, you simply make up a new law that makes it illegal.
It's pretty ridiculous to try and make calling someone a Nazi illegal, but can you imagine a world where people could no longer use that easy cop-out and instead had to actually formulate an argument against what you're saying? I want stricter immigration control to stop us leaching skilled labour from impoverished countries. I want us out of the EU, and I want laws controlling freedom of speech to be scrapped. That is absolutely outrageous, you filthy go on, speak up, son. Is there something that you wanted to say? Speaking to the fucking microphone! Wouldn't it be wonderful if people could no longer use that exaggerated falsehood against us and instead had to actually challenge the things that we're saying. And we could have it here, in our grasp, that people will no longer be able to falsely call us Nazis. To not be smeared by this term, to not be dismissed by this term, to not have my physical safety placed in jeopardy by being falsely branded this term. That would make my life so much easier, and the possibility of that is now here within my grasp. I am Jesus in the desert, and the devil has laid his temptation before me. But I can't do it. Because being able to call someone a Nazi is freedom of speech. But this situation highlighted something very important. Most of the general population just need to tolerate whatever language the government or MPs use towards them, but whenever these same people try to use the same language back at the government and the MPs, the government and the MPs seek instead to make these forms of speech illegal. It's almost as if, as has been demonstrated around the world, that the true goal of governments trying to control and restrict freedom of speech always seems to be to aim for speech that undermines the government's power and authority. Funny that.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe.